Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Brightops, and welcome to something completely different. This is a game called Renowned Explorers. It is made by Abbey Games, who also produce Godhood, and I know the other game they've made, and I've played it, but I still don't know how to actually pronounce its name. I really don't. But yes, the reason why we're trying this one rather than Godhood itself is, quite honestly, because I have recorded an episode of Godhood, and I plan to do some editing for it. I attempted to do some editing to upload it today, but for reasons I'm not entirely sure, the edits have not worked out properly, and the result just isn't uploading correctly. So in the meantime, we'll showcase this just so people can see. Now, you have your options. You have Discovery Mode, and you have Adventure Mode. We're obviously going to go with Adventure Mode in Classic. Basically, what this means is you can't save scum with Adventure Mode. If you lose the game, the game's over. You can't actually cheese the system by going back to where you last saved and continuing the same run. So we're going Classic on Adventure. Now, the way that this game works is you create your own crew in order to go on adventures and look for artifacts and that sort of stuff. And various characters give different benefits. Now, normally when you start the game, you've only got 4 captains to choose from. You've got Anne, I have no idea how to pronounce that. No idea how to pronounce her last name, who is a scientist captain, and thus, when she gains perks towards science, completing a research paper will give you study tokens at random improvement. We have the scout captain, Harry Walker, who's kind of a glass cannon, and that he's got... Because there are many ways that you can actually deal with situations. You can do it in a friendly manner, just like with diplomacy. You can do it in a devious one, where you just use insults and undermine people. Or you could just go for the full-on British explorer and just shoot whatever gets in your way. But yes, we got Harry Walker, who is a scouting captain, who doesn't really... He's kind of a glass cannon, honestly, scouts, but they're very useful, because scouts tend to have abilities such as... They tend to have roguish abilities, or survivalist abilities, that can prove very useful. We have Victor Signac, who... I think that's how you pronounce his last name, who is a fighter. Now, to be fair, being a fighter does not, while it does give a bonus towards an aggressive play style, it is not a guarantee thing. Since, for example, Victor here is not only can he go aggressive, he's also very diplomatic. He's a decorated military captain. He's very good with his words. And the last one is the speaker, who are, let's be honest, complete and utter they are diplomats. In this case, Voyona Lefreux? Fuck if I know. She personally is she's more of a speaker. Speakers are more, well, diplomatic. They don't really benefit so much from the whole aggression side of things, though they can, depending on your speaker, they can swap between friendly and devious pretty easily. Because that's kind of the thing about all these characters, is they'll generally have at least 2 they can go two ways. They'll at least have two of these things that they're good at, and thus they can blend in with teams really well. In this case, let us go with a Victor, because I feel like actually, change of plan. Random crew. Let's see what we get. Okay. We have Amelia Kowalska, who... Amelia, who is from Poland. She is a scientist. I've actually unlocked her as a captain, because when you people serve in the crew, there are usually different things that go with them. I have played this game before, so we've unlocked a couple of people, but usually there'll be, like, for example, Ivan here. He has to go on at least 4 expeditions with this guy in the crew before you can actually have him as a captain. The amount of expeditions you need to take people on varies. But let's see, Amelia's perk as a captain is she starts every expedition with a tool, which means that during certain encounters we can improve the odds of success. And we gain +1 study token whenever we enter an area with a nature challenge. Now, I'll explain what that means a bit further on, but we'll see who else is in the crew. Charles Templeton, British, ex-sailor and an ex-butler from Manchester, who wants to rub elbows with the Queen, knows how to throw a punch and an insult. So Charles here is, as he's saying, is a defensive speaker. He's also recommended for aggressive or devious crews. So that's where his strengths lie, can either punch or stab. And we have Molly. Molly, the scout from Australia. Good God. On her first day at the Society, Molly was suspended for a week after accidentally using a very vulgar word describing Mr. Pinkerton's receding hairline. She is aggressive and devious, so that's where her strengths lie. So we actually have a fairly strong devious team here, but they also have the ability to swing in other directions depending on the situation. And sometimes being fluid is helpful. But yes, we shall start this adventure. That's our team right there. Wonderful people, aren't they? Alright, this is it. You just got your Renowned Explorers International Society membership. Emily wants to make a big entrance, finding the burial site of Saxon kings. Found somewhere on the mainland of Britain, but King Edbert's grave remains a peculiar mystery. You know, just for the sake of viewers, I will go through the tutorial just to show off mechanics. Welcome to the Renowned Explorers. Your goal is to achieve the most renown possible and beat your rivals in the race for the title of Most Renowned Explorer. Renowned Explorers use unique concepts. To succeed in your goal, there are a lot of strategies and systems you'll have to discover and master. While playing, remember one thing. Renowned Explorers is all about discovering treasures and stories, but also strategies and systems. This game has many new concepts and is quite challenging. Learn about the concepts here, or learn them the hard way as you play. Alright, we'll start with expedition goals. Your goal is to gather as much renown as possible to become this year's most renowned explorer. You especially want to beat the current number 1, Mathuel Rival Vix. Basically this guy, over here. He looks like an asshole, that's because he kind of is. You gain renown by finding treasures and collecting gold, status, and research. So you collect renown to win. During expeditions, you can collect resources. Gold, which you can spend on equipment. Status, which attracts an entourage. Research that can be spent on research. And insight, which you can use to gain more of the other resources. You might not find a need for these resources immediately, but once you start preparing for following expeditions, they'll be vital. They'll also yield some renown. So look for gold, status, and research. Got it. You won't get resources directly, though. During expeditions, you'll perform actions that give you tokens. At the end of the expedition, tokens will be exchanged for the resources mentioned before. For example, a study token will give you research. Later, you can upgrade your tokens for better yields. So as I was saying earlier with our captain, Amelia, because her special thing is if we go into an encounter that's naturalist, that has natural elements in it, she will gain a point of study by default. She's kind of a nature nerd. The expedition ends once you accomplish your expedition goal. You can surely find some secrets and other treasures if you try to explore as much as possible. Okay, step 2, surviving the damn things. The hardest part of renowned explorers is surviving the perils during an expedition. You need to keep an eye on 2 particular things. Resolve, which is up here. If you lose, you will lose the game if it ever reaches 0. So we start with 2, as we go through expeditions it will go up. And supplies, which is here, which are used to travel from node to node. Never run out of resolve. If that happens, your crew gives up on the exploring and you lose the game. You'll lose resolve from failing summon challenges or having a crew member fall during an encounter. You gain resolve from completing an expedition, but otherwise it's really hard to gain resolve. So you'll also need supplies. Traveling on expeditions consumes supplies. If you run out of them, your crew will weaken. Still, sometimes it might be worth the risk to go a little further without supplies. It's up to you. You'll often get the chance to regain them, so keep eyes open. A brief summary for a successful expedition. Find the treasures and complete the expedition, get as much renown, collect gold, status, and research, and don't run out of this stuff. That's about it. And encounters. An encounter in Renowned Explorers is very different from what you might be used to seeing from a tactical game. You will be able to solve encounters not only through aggressive violence, but also through devious bullying and friendly diplomacy. Let's see, we'll actually learn about attitudes and stuff. 1 second. If you know how to use your abilities to win an encounter, the next step is to look for your attitude. As mentioned before, this is more than just one way to win it. There is more than one way to win an encounter. Here you'll learn about attitudes. Friendly, devious, and aggressive. So we'll just start a tutorial thing just to show this off. In Renowned Explorers, you won't only enter the encounter to do battle. This is also where diplomacy and bullying take place. Your crew can resolve this encounter with 3 attitudes: friendly, devious, aggressive. Resolving an encounter with a different attitude affects the course of the game and your rewards. An outcome UI at the top left shows you what the consequences are for having a dominant attitude in an encounter. Let's just take a look at it, just here. Alright, we can see it. So, we see our different results. Jesse will explain in a second what these things actually mean. As you've seen, you want to avoid finishing this encounter with an aggressive attitude. Bad consequences are marked with a red skull, while positive ones are marked with a green cross. You want to be either friendly or devious. Now how do we act upon these? To solve an encounter we've got with a certain attitude, your crew members have different abilities. In the abilities tooltip you can see what attitude they have. You'll notice that the first ability is always aggressive, the second is always devious, and the third is friendly. So let's see, we got... So yeah, we've got, just looking here, we got aggressive, so for Amelia, her natural aggressive one is a smack him with a shovel. Try to enrage is her devious, and being excite, get the enemy excited is diplomatic. Fun fact, the friendly one can not only be used against enemies to bring down their bar and win them to your side, but if you target an ally, you can actually heal them up. Alright. We basically more or less explain that. So we'll just do a quick thing. Ah, yes, and just we'll skip this for a second just to explain. I can explain stuff from... I'll explain from here on out. When you pick a certain attitude, attitudes have their strengths and weaknesses, and they go again, because not only do you have one, your enemy has one as well. In this, and depending on what attitudes you pick, can have effects. Because there's something of a rock, paper, scissors with this particular thing. We've got friendly is weak to devious, devious is weak to aggressive, and aggressive is weak to friendly. So because we're friendly, and our volunteer friend here is aggressive... Actually, wait. Wow. Fuck, I got it the wrong way round. I've played this game how much lately? Friendly's weak to aggressive, aggressive's weak to devious, devious is weak to friendly. So because we're friendly and our enemy is aggressive, our crew members have a minus 20 armor debuff. And basically all that's just explaining is that different characters have different strengths and weaknesses. In this particular case, the volunteer here has ridiculously good armor, so aggression, not so good. But being social, taking a social attack of some kind, be it a friendly or a devious one, will actually wreck his shit. He is not good at that. So we won. Ah yes, and because we've done that, we've actually started the adventure proper. So we'll start here. We'll go an encounter with research in it. A group of sheep is fighting to eat from a slightly greener patch of grass. It might be interesting to study this peculiar patch of grass. Let's go! You approach the patch of grass, but the sheep see you as competition and start attacking you. So we're fighting sheep. And as we can see from the rewards here, being either friendly or devious will give us study tokens, whereas being aggressive gives us nothing. Aggression doesn't... Aggression... Sometimes you have to pick your battles, and... if you know what the hell you're doing. Let's see, sheep is excited, and is buggered off. So let's see, sheep don't really have any... They're not really good against anything. They're pretty terrible. However, in this particular case, we're going to take a friendly approach. Okay. Because Charles here does not do friendly naturally, there is a chance for his friendly thing to fail. Or fumble, which is what happened there. So he's kind of missed his thing. But look at it! Look at the cute friendly sheep! They're adorable! Why wouldn't you want to be friendly with these things? Well, obviously the reason for it is if you're actually getting rewarded for being a dick, but in this particular case we aren't... Well, we could be if we wanted to be devious bastards, but... You know what, because I actually want this thing to go down, let's just do it. Fun fact! Fun fact, because of how things are set up, your encounter... just how the encounter is judged depends on this meter here, depending on what actions you take. It's also affected by how long your general mood is. In this case, because we're both being friendly, everyone's nice, no one really gains an advantage. However, if one of us was to go physical, not only would the opening attack be better, but we would be swapped to a physical thing. So sometimes it pays to be an asshole. In this particular case, not so much. Friendly approach has proven its worth, we've gained tokens, we gained some encounter tokens, which, after the expedition can be traded, will give us some golden status, as well as renown, and friendly expedition. Yay, they were nice to me. Was it okay that I took that candy they offered? God damn it, Amelia. But yes, resolving encounters in a certain way gives you buffs that carry over for the whole expedition. In this case, it gives us a bit of speech power and speech defense, so this means that we're more resistant to people being either devious or friendly to us, and we're stronger when we do it to them. You successfully calm down the sheep and can take a look at the grass. After careful examination and some tests, it seems the grass contains some special nutrients that attract the sheep. You take some with you for their scientific value. So, great, continue. Now, as you can see, we can choose where to go from here. We can see how much the traveling costs in the way of supplies, and as we're going, we can also see where they will branch off from there. On a steep uphill path, Charles spots an old bag dangling dangerously from a sharp piece of rock. It seems quite a dangerous climb to reach it. Now, this is where some encounters are different. Sometimes it's not about combat. Sometimes you have to pick someone to try and succeed at something. In this case, Amelia, not so good. However, our survivalist... Actually, strangely enough, our scout has a 50-50 shot, but Charles, because he actually has a survivalist trait, has the best chance of all at 54%. Now, because of our captain, we start off with a tool. Now, you can, as you go through travels, you can pick other tools up, but if we use it, we can boost our chances by 25%. So that goes from 54 to 49. So let's see what Charles can do. And he was successful. Charles climbs towards the bag, holding on to the steady stones and edges, skipping and evading sharp rocks. Eventually the bag is reached and safely returned. It seems to be an old money courier's bag, containing some gold and silver coins. So we've got some collect tokens, which will be traded for gold and renown, as well as a campaign token, which is status. And we travel onward. Oh, so we've also had a level up too. We'll get him in a second. An excavation tent is standing on a rock formation. You decide to take a look. As soon as you open the tent, a girl with a lab coat and glasses screams in terror and trembles in fear. Ah, who are you? What are you doing? You're here to steal my secret, aren't you? Yes, you are. Please take some money and leave. Now we have the option of trying to get some information out of her, or we can just take some money and leave. In this case, however, we're gonna try and talk to her. In this case, we'll have Charles. Charles tries to get some information out of her. Before... Oh, I didn't actually realize we could level up people during encounters like this. Okay. As people level up, you have traits you can along here that you can pick, and that will boost their abilities. Now, we could pick... For Charles here, we can either pick a perk Diplomat, which is Etiquette, which will help him in a talking situation, or Survivalist Tracking, which can prove beneficial for survivalist challenges. In this case, we're going to pick Etiquette, because he is diplomatic. He also gains a group insult, which is an ability, a devious ability that allows him to strike at multiple people. Oh. So we can... Well, I feel a bit silly. We can actually examine the thing, but we can't actually click something while in an encounter. My bad. In this case, Charles tried to convince her. We failed to do so. The researcher is even more afraid than before. Ah, get out, you evil secret-stealing thieves! You'll never get hold of my plans! Then she starts to throw stuff at you. Quite a dramatic sight. You decide to leave her be, and you continue your journey. So we got nothing out of that. In this case, we're going to make him a bit more diplomatic, so that he can be a bit more useful to us later on. But in encounters like that, it sometimes pays to... If your crew is just not set up to handle a certain situation, sometimes it pays just to walk away. Halfway up a small mountain, the crew finds an old ruinous Saxon monastery. Many of the Saxon structures were made from wood and did not stand the test of time. A stone building such as this one is a treasure itself. Unfortunately, it does not fit in your backpack. Exploring the monastery. As you approach the monastery, a strange-looking hooded man is standing in front of the monastery. Why, hello there, travelers. Welcome to this old Saxon monastery. I've come here once a year to make some minor repairs and clean the place up a bit. It would be a shame if such a nice place went to waste. Keep listening. Saxon men used to come here to test their skills. The most skillful would be rewarded by Tyr, the god of war. All that is left now is this heavy statue of Tyr that warriors would push and feel like a Saxon knight, and a trial in the monastery's basement that would test agility and attract noblemen with pretty rings. If you would like to test yourself, go ahead. Your performance might earn you something. Let's see. We can either push the heavy statue, go to the monastery's basement, or intimidate the hooded man and demand treasure. Now here's the thing, let's see, push the heavy statue. We have the option of reconsidering stuff, so we can actually look to see how our crew would fare in certain challenges. In this case, not very well. We're not an athletic class, so we're going to reconsider. Check the basement. You enter the monastery basement, a long, dim room. The old man says, if you can make it across and come back to me, I will ask Tyr what you have earned. We can have a bit better chance at this, but not quite the best. I'm hesitant to click this one because I feel like this isn't really a challenge. This might mess us up, but let's give it a shot. You intimidate the odd-looking man and demand treasure. Wow, the ferocity, that anger, so intimidating. Tyr would certainly like that, although he likes these tests more. Show me your worth, and the man walks into the monastery. The man walks out with a Nordic bracelet, a strange treasure to receive in a Saxon monastery. Trier has rewarded you, and I wish you the best in your travels. Take it and leave. So there are many ways to go around something. Effectively, because we intimidated him, we had a chance of getting He had the option of giving us various treasures, but he had the option of giving us a Viking helmet more than the others. The fact we've got a bracelet is actually fairly rare. You thank the old man and you leave the monastery behind you, carrying the new treasure with you. So this is where our end goal is. We do not want to go there just yet. We have some supplies left and we want to do other things. The rain has become unbearable, and the crew is looking for shelter. After searching for a while, a cave is found. Great, some shelter. The crew lays down their backpacks and makes a fire to dry their clothes and for warmth. Once the fire is blazing, the cave appears to be larger than it appeared in the dark. As you explore the cave, you notice lots of Saxon war equipment, including some skeletons, probably of wounded soldiers that died in the caves. We can focus on collecting valuable equipment, or focus on noteworthy. Well, we've got some pretty good campaign. We could focus there, but I'm going to go with valuable, because money can buy upgrades for the crew. While collecting some of the equipment, you notice some tactical plans written on the cave walls. Studying this will give you a tactical defensive insight. Who will study these plans? Effectively, by doing this, one of our people can gain by default, they can gain Tactician Defense for free. In this case, we're going to give it to Mully. Mully studies the defensive tactics of the Saxons immensely. So, she's now part Tactician. That can be useful in certain situations. And there be supplies over here. Normally you wouldn't be this excited about this, but you found an abandoned farm. The fields are overgrown with vegetables and even some fruit trees. You take some time to restock your supplies. So we've gained 3 supplies, which means we can go exploring more, and thus gain more benefits. 2 people are having a heated discussion as you walk by. One of them yells at you, "Hey you! Hey, you! Yes, you! We need your opinion on something. We are discussing what the best way is to solve problems. I am convinced that using speech will solve any problem you encounter, but this guy here thinks that using physical text is the way to go. What do you think? If you choose me, I'll teach you how to use speech more effectively on this island. If you choose him, you'll do the same for attack." Well, we're a very speech party, so speech. Excellent choice. Speech is always better. I will teach one of you how to use speech more effectively on this island. Remember, these secrets will only have effect on this expedition. So, Emily learns about the history and customs of this island, which will be very useful during challenges on this expedition. They will be useless on other expeditions, though. Your crew is ready to continue. So you can pick up perks that will only last this expedition. While scouting the area, a rugged-looking man comes running up to you. "Oi, mates! I'm a traveling goldsmith, but I'm kind of bored of this island. I want to see some new gems. Allow me to join your entourage and help you appraise your finds." A merchant who wants to help you. Great. The man is happy to help you and excited to see what you can find. This merchant will make your collect actions more effective. So we can have an entourage. In this case, we've got a merchant, so every time we gain a collect token, or for every collect token we get, he will add a +1 to 3 gold onto it. We can actually spend status to get more people into the entourage, and it can get ridiculous how much stuff we can get. But yes, let's keep going exploring. You walk down a small path when you hear shouting and screaming coming your way. 2 thieves are running from an angry mob. Since you are blocking the path, one of the thieves asks, "Please, traveller, we have no time for you right now. If you let us through, we'll give you some compensation." So we can take the bribe, which gives us 1 point of collect, or we can decline and stop them. You cannot be bribed. Stop the thieves. Alright, so we can be friendly, devious, or aggressive. In this case, aggression gives us status rewards. Whereas the other two kind of don't. Well, I'm not going to turn down the chance to smack a Scotsman over the head with a shovel. I kid. I'm actually... I do have Scottish family. I sincerely hope they are not mad. But yes, because Charles here, Templeton, leveled up, he gained a new ability, Group Insult. So he can basically do a cone attack that pisses people off and causes damage. Now, why would we want them enraged? Well, enraged... Well, in this case, the thieves are actually weak to being enraged. But enraged, as an emotion, reduces armor value by 25. So these guys are very vulnerable to getting smacked in the face right now. As the party levels up, you can also alter it so that certain emotional attacks have benefits. Like, for example, Enrage not only will lower armor, but it might also make them less accurate, and thus more inclined to miss. And because were victorious in an aggressive way, we gained those tokens, some encounters, and victory is mine! My strength knows no bounds! So because we resolved something aggressively, we got plus 5 armor and plus 2 attack power. The angry mob finally catches up to the thieves and sees that you already took care of them. The mob thanks you, and everybody now knows about your good deed. So we gained an extra point of campaign for that. So more status, which means more entourage. Okay, leveling up Amelia. So we have the option of picking... She has two. She is both a naturalist and archaeologist. So we have the option... So we have either option. In this case, I'm going to go an archaeologist. We also gain Tranquility. She gains the ability Tranquility, which is a actual group heal. So that's a pretty good one. So that's why Amelia's pretty good. She's very good at healing and being friendly and talking to people. Meanwhile, we have the option of, with Molly, we can either go Rogue, which improves her roguish nature a bit, or in this case, we're going to go pick up an Athletic perk, because having Athletic, or having Athlete, in this case Tenacious, can be useful for certain challenges. So we might as well have it. Alright. The crew suddenly gets ambushed by some aggressive-looking men. These foreign fancy pants are going to take all our jobs. Attack! They're charging. But because Molly is a tactician, all crew members get tactically prepared, so they get benefits going into this encounter. Admittedly, we gain bonuses for being aggressive this encounter as well. Let's see, just a quick look. Here we go. Tactically prepared. Plus 10 attack and plus 10% speech for the first 2 turns because of a tactical move before the encounter. And basically all the party gets this. So we gain benefits for doing stuff. Yes, and also Molly's first thing she gets, flank and shank. If she moves onto a flank, she moves onto someone's flank, she can basically use this ability to, well, stab someone. It also lowers their armor. I will admit the fact that we're mostly social party going aggressive is not ideal, but we're pretty versatile. I mean, we can do the social thing, we can do the aggressive thing, we can handle pretty much any situation that comes about. And another Highlander bites the dust. Let's see, and the quote from our butler man, "I'm so strong, people should revere my strength." With the situation solved, the crew can continue exploring. Charles is baffled by the fact that these men thought that shepherding or mining was of any interest to you. We also gained some study points. Nice. There's an old abandoned shack standing on top of a hill. Searching such a shack is an opportunity a group of explorers cannot pass up. So we're searching the shack. It seems the old owner was in a hurry to leave. There are all kinds of furniture and cooking equipment and even some jewelry left behind. You take the jewelry and leave the shack. So we gain three collect things. Nice. Doing a little bit of backtracking. Ooh, out of supplies, but the situation can have severe effects. Amelia's voice and strength are fading because of hunger. So they have... yeah, 20... Hunger can be pretty damn painful the longer it lasts. The burial site of the Saxon kings must be somewhere around here. Once you get there, this expedition will come to an end. You can come back to this place if you wish to continue later. We're continuing onwards. The crew searches through the hills and quickly finds what they were looking for. The Saxon burial site. One of the tombs is of King Egbert, a particularly mysterious figure. Finding its secrets will surely skyrocket your reputation at the renowned explorers. However, you hear a familiar laughter. Behind you stands the French explorer Rivalix, who is considered to be the most promising of the renowned explorers. He speaks. "Thank you, amateur. Under Rule 24B of the Explorer Mandate, fellow explorers should help each other out. And I really need to excavate King Egbert's tomb to gain another honorary title. Explained how you worked hard for this treasure." Rivalix continues. "It seems my explanation wasn't clear enough. Maybe my strong friend Tommy can explain the situation better. While I plunder King Egbert's tomb." Hey, wait a minute. Before Amelia can stop Rivalix, his crew fighter Tommy steps forward. "Nuh-uh, little explorers. Beat it. He's not letting you pass. Defend yourselves." We're going into battle once again. Okay, so this one doesn't really give us much in the way of options, or at least doesn't give us the same kind of rewards that we did previous things. So, if we are friendly with him, he'll think we're nice and it'll be a neutral thing. If we're aggressive, he'll be impressed by our skill, but he doesn't want us to be devious. Okay, that's fair enough. And mainly we start off friendly, probably not the right move, because friendly gives us lack of armor. We're not gonna be friendly for long. Now, why am I going devious so quickly when it was clear that we don't want to end the fight on devious? Well, quite simply, we're not going to end the fight on devious. We're just going devious because being devious against aggression gives us extra grit, which can be useful under the circumstances. It gives us a little bit more resistant to being physically hit in the face with a bat. as is currently happening. Thankfully, these bloody mobsters aren't really that powerful, but they are kind of annoying. And the more of them that go down means we swap to aggressive. And we're going to use that aggressiveness to basically build up some aggression so we end this the right way. Building up our aggressive here while also knocking out, you know, mooks. Because mooks suck. So does Tommy. Tommy's an ass. Okay, Amelia will wind up, and he's down. Beware the power of shovel. And of course the shank and flank is always particularly useful, because A, it's aggressive, B, it lowers his armor, and C, we're currently kicking the crap out of him. Which is what we want to do. He's also enraged, so his armor is taking some serious penalties right now. Also, something, before we finish this off, something that is probably apparent is the fact that when both sides are the same attitude, in this case since we're both aggressive, devious abilities gain purchase. They are a lot stronger than normal. They are stronger than normal. Basically, this happens with all of them, because it will usually be that whatever that particular attitude is weak against will gain a buff if you to encourage you to actually go into it. So we've ended this aggressively. Tommy is pretty impressed. Wow, you're pretty strong. Few can take on the mighty Tommy gun. Take some gold in this checklist. It describes treasures we want to find here. I guess if you beat us to it, you deserve one as well. And he leaves to follow Revelix, who has already plundered King Edberg's tomb and left. We are a band of mighty warriors. Huzzah! So we collect 2 gold, and all of the crew's attack is increased by 1 permanently. The crew quickly turns to the mysterious checklist you got from the encounter. It seems to be some sort of agenda or scheme. Emily takes it and reads it out loud. Treasures still to grab. 1 hidden in the tomb of the Forgotten King. 1 treasure held by the locals. The one in the cache near the dangerous cliffs. Due date today. It seems Revelix was going to nab some more treasures. You might be able to get one before him. Which treasure are you going to chase? Let's investigate the tomb. There is another tomb around here. Can you outsmart Revelix this time? Who will lead the exploration? Our archaeologist scientist, of course. Whew. Searching the other tombs before Revelix comes back was a great idea. Investigating the other tombs yields some knowledge, and you find the mentioned treasure. So in this case, we have a great deal of study, which will be in research, which will be useful in a bit. But we have a chance of a random reward. A Sword of Justice, a Saxon Golden Horse, or a Heliodor. In this case, the odds are in favor of the Sword of Justice. A ceremonial sword used by kings to enforce the law. Gain an extra point of collect if you resolve an encounter aggressive, and fighters gain +2 attack, which is kind of that particular one is kind of useless to us because we don't actually have a fighter. With this last find, your expedition still concludes on a high note. However, it's clear that if you want to be the most renowned explorer, you'll have to beat Rivalix. Now it's personal. Back to London, because of course the explorer's lead is from London. Treasures, we gained the bracelet and the sword, and now this is where all the stuff is tallied up. Having entourage and all that boosts the results here, as well as certain benefits. Let's see, small discoveries. Exotic location uncovered in the Saxon Grave Isles by promising explorer Amelia Karwowski. Ska. I am butchering that. I apologize to all Polish people. Explorers Society board members are excited at the progress of this tyrant tycoon. The exact name here kind of depends on how you resolve the expedition, what main attitude you had, also what main thing you got. So we could have been a researcher if we'd gotten more science done, research done. We could have been famous if we got more status, but in this case we got more gold, so we're the tycoon. A magnificent job. The board of the Renowned Explorers International Society is impressed by your exploration skills in the Highlands. For this achievement, Chaelin Parkerton gives you an upgrade to your airship, which will allow you to carry more supplies. I'll explain this next. I'll explain what the world map is next time, but let's just skip the intro. The REIS membership. So we gain 1 point of insights and 50 renown. We also gain 2 additional supplies from here on out. Get 30% off El Vigilante's branded canned dog food. Alright, so I think I'll leave this here. This was just more an introduction to this game. I might continue the series if people are interested. Until then, my name is Bryce Ops, and I look forward to hearing from you.